1. The Hook and the Reveal. Look closely at these paintings. Do you see the innocence in the lines? This artist was rejected by the Vienna Academy of Arts for being untalented and was condemned to live on the streets. If he had been accepted that day, World War II might never have happened because that student was Adolf Hitler. One rejection turned the hands of an artist into a killing machine. So how did his mind become corrupted during those years spent on the streets? The terrifying story of this transformation begins now. Section 2, 1907. The End of Dreams. To answer this question, we must travel back to Vienna in 1907. Young Adolf had decided to become an artist, against his father's wishes for him to be a civil servant. In his view, he was an architectural genius. That year, he walked through the doors of the academy. The exams were two-part. First, you submit your drawings, then you are called for an interview, and the results slapped him across the face. You failed the exam. Your work shows a lack of artistic talent. Perhaps you should try architecture. Hitler could not accept this rejection. He tried again a year later, but this time his drawings were much worse. His dream of becoming an artist was locked forever at that famous gate in Vienna, twice. Section 3. The Birth of Hate in Vienna. By 1909, Hitler had lost his last penny. He spent the winters in cold and damp shelters, or even on park benches. He was no longer just an aspiring artist, but one of the thousands of destitute people in Vienna. It was these years of misery that laid the foundation for his psychological transformation. Exclusion and the victim role. He attributed the rejection of his art not to his own lack of talent, but to a conspiracy. The blame for his failure always fell on others: the system, the wealthy, and particularly the groups targeted by the rapidly rising anti-Semitic sentiment in Vienna at the time. The men's shelter where he stayed was a center where Europe's most radical political views were disseminated. Here he read political brochures and racist newspapers. The hunger in the streets turned into a political hunger. He no longer wanted to beautify the world with a brush, but to reshape it with hatred. The poor, cold, and xenophobic atmosphere of Vienna gave a lost soul exactly the poison it needed. Section 4. The Escape and the Great War. In 1913, Hitler left Vienna and fled to Munich. He was actually avoiding conscription. However, when World War I broke out in 1914, this became the greatest turning point in his life. The war gave Hitler the sense of purpose he had been searching for years. He proved himself as a volunteer on the front, even earning a commendation for exceptional bravery. From a miserable homeless man, he suddenly turned into a hero fighting for his homeland. When Germany lost the war, this defeat, in Hitler's eyes, was again due to traitors and the system. The hatred formed on the streets of Vienna was now about to turn into a political mission. His art career was over. Instead of the creative role he sought for years, he found a destructive and political one. Looking back, that "you are untalented" statement was not a simple note from an art historian, but a historical prophecy that would determine the lives of 60 million people. Section 5. Conclusion and Closing. What if he had been accepted? Maybe he would have been an ordinary architect. Maybe he still would have failed. But one thing is certain: art was the only thing that could appease this great hatred, the only thing that could save him from the poison of the streets. History shows that major events can sometimes depend on a single small no. The rejection of an artist became the beginning of a world war. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts on this topic in the comments.